The ancient dragon Vera collapsed onto the crystalline platform, her massive form trembling with exhaustion. Her scales, once brilliant emerald, had dulled to a sickly gray. Blood seeped from wounds across her flank, where the Void Hunters had. Struck with their energy weapons, Captain Mike Torres of the human exploration vessel Horizon approached cautiously, his team maintaining a respectful distance. The dragon's head, larger than his entire shuttle, turned toward him with eyes that held millennia of wisdom and desperate hope. Human. Vera's voice resonated through telepathic waves that made the air shimmer. I have heard tales of your species. They say you are fierce protectors of the young, regardless of whose children they are. Mike nodded slowly, keeping his hands visible and relaxed. That's true for most of us. What do you need? The great dragon's mental voice cracked with anguish. My hatchling, my precious Luna, was taken by the Void Hunters 3 cycles ago. They seek to harvest her essence while she is young and pure. She is hidden in their fortress beyond the dead nebula, but I am too wounded, too weak to breach there. Defenses. Mike studied the dragon's injuries. The Void Hunters were a scourge across this sector, slavers and energy vampires who fed on the life force of other beings. He had encountered their brutality before. You're asking me to rescue your daughter, Mike said. I am begging you, Vera replied, lowering her magnificent head until it nearly touched the ground. I have nothing to offer but my gratitude and a mother's eternal debt. Mike's team exchanged glances. The Void Hunter Fortress was a death trap, surrounded by quantum mines and protected by swarms of automated defenders. It would be suicide for a single human ship. Give me 48 hours, Mike said finally. The dragon's eyes widened with surprise and hope. You will do this? I'll do everything I can, Mike promised. He returned to the Horizon and immediately contacted the human fleet command. Within 6 hours, a response crackled through subspace. 3 destroyers, 2 assault carriers, and a battalion of human marines were being diverted to his coordinates. Admiral Kate Walsh arrived personally aboard the flagship. Defiance. She listened to Mike's briefing with the intensity that had made her legend throughout human space. A child is a child, she said simply. Dragon or human, no parent should lose their young to monsters. The human armada assembled at the edge of the dead nebula. The Void Hunter Fortress loomed ahead, a twisted spire of dark metal wreathed in energy fields. Sensors detected the small life signature deep within its core Luna, barely alive. All ships, this is Admiral Walsh, came the broadcast across the fleet. We go in fast and hard. Primary objective is the rescue of 1 dragon hatchling. Secondary objective is the complete destruction of this facility. No Void Hunter leaves this system alive. The battle was fierce but brief. Human ships poured through the quantum mine field, their shields absorbing the explosions, while marine drop pods launched toward the fortress. The Void Hunters, accustomed to picking off isolated prey, found themselves facing the coordinated fury of an entire human battle group. Mike led the rescue team through the fortress corridors. They fought past automated turrets and Void Hunter guards, following the weak life signature deeper into the structure. In a chamber lined with energy-draining crystals, they found Luna Dot. The young dragon was barely the size of a horse, her silver scales dim with exhaustion. Energy siphons attached to her body had been slowly draining her life force. She looked up at Mike with eyes that mirrored her mother's desperate hope. Easy, little one, Mike said softly, carefully removing the siphons. Your mother sent us. You're going home. Luna tried to speak, but managed only a weak chirp. Mike wrapped her in a thermal blanket and carried her personally to the evacuation shuttle. The Void Hunter Fortress exploded in a brilliant flash as the human fleet withdrew. Not a single enemy vessel escaped to threaten other worlds. Back on the crystalline platform, Vera watched the shuttles descend. When Mike emerged carrying Luna, the great dragon's telepathic cry of joy resonated across the entire star system. Mother and daughter were reunited, Luna nestling against Vera's massive form as healing energy flowed between them. "Human Mike Torres," Vera said, her mental voice strong again. "You have given me back my heart." "How can I possibly repay such a gift?" Mike shook his head. "No payment needed. We couldn't live with ourselves if we'd done anything else." "Then you do not understand the magnitude of what you have done," Vera replied. "Luna is not merely my daughter. She is the last of the silver dragons, the keepers of the old ways. Without her, an entire lineage of knowledge and wisdom would have died forever." The dragon rose to her full height, scales now blazing with renewed vitality. "I name you and all your kind as friends of dragonkind. From this day forward, any human who calls upon the dragons in their hour of need will find us ready to answer." 6 months later, when the Korluk Empire launched their surprise invasion of human space, the dragons came. Vera led a flight of 12 ancient Wyrms into battle alongside human ships, their plasma breath turning enemy fleets to slag. The sight of dragons fighting beside humans became legend throughout the galaxy. Luna, fully recovered and grown to adolescence, became the first dragon to serve aboard a human vessel. She and Mike formed an unbreakable bond, exploring the far reaches of space together. Her unique abilities to sense quantum disturbances and manipulate energy fields saved countless human lives during their adventures. The Void Hunters never again dared to enter sectors protected by the Human-Dragon Alliance. Other species took notice of humanity's willingness to risk everything for a single child that wasn't even their own. The reputation of humans as protectors spread, and soon delegations from dozens of worlds sought treaties and alliances with the seemingly insignificant species from a small blue planet. Years passed, and the galaxy changed. Humans were no longer seen as newcomers, but as the defenders of the innocent, the species that would fight impossible odds to save those who needed saving. It all began with one mother's desperate plea and a human captain's simple belief that every child deserved protection. Mike, now an admiral himself, often returned to visit Vera and Luna on their home world. The great dragon would tell him stories of the old days, while Luna would share tales of their latest adventures among the stars. "You saved more than just my daughter that day," Vera would always say. "You saved the hope that goodness still exists in this dark universe." And in the end, that hope spread farther than any human fleet could ever travel. Chat controls Sonnet 4.